I don't think any player caught headlines as much as Nico Iamaleava at Tennessee when he opted to just kind of hold out, maybe a contract dispute there. But in the end, he heads back home to his home state in California and goes to UCLA. How's he actually performing out there, Matt? What are you hearing?
Getting absolutely rave reviews. So there were a lot of people around the UCLA program that frankly didn't know what to expect from Nico, just coming out of that situation at Tennessee, and was well publicized how everything went down. And I'll just say, like, he has been terrific. It has been beyond terrific, not only from talent standpoint and what he showed on the field, but just the work he's put in behind the scenes. They have continued to beyond rave about him, and just feel like the outlook is so much different for this season there at UCLA compared to what it would have been. No offense to Joey Aguilar, but if they had not gotten Nico, they legitimately feel at this point like they're going to be able to compete in any game that they play. And it's interesting, if you look at UCLA's schedule, and I don't have it in front of me right now, but I want to say that they play Penn State the middle of the year, but like of the first 9 games, whatever it is, that only face one team in the top 20, or two teams in the top 20, with Indiana being the other one. So there's an opportunity there for maybe UCLA to surprise some people, not only because they have someone in Nico that they think is going to have a chance to be a first-round type player next year, just based on what they've seen behind the scenes, but they like what they've added to that running back room. They feel like they have some talent at receiver. And again, not to be repetitive, they are extremely, extremely high on Nico and have been very much impressed with him, even outside of just the talent part of it. But the schedule does make it more interesting with them.
My question about that, Matt, though, is to say, is this a reason where is this a thing where Nico Iamaleava is playing so well, or is this a thing where you just haven't had a quarterback that could play up to Nico Iamaleava's potential in the building since, I don't know, Josh Rosen? I mean, it's been a while since UCLA got legitimate good play from the quarterback position. So again, it's not to say that Iamaleava is good or bad or what have you. We did see his limitations last year at Tennessee. We did see how defenses started to play Tennessee coming down the stretch pretty much the same way. Flood the zone, let that Tennessee offense that's got all those bells and whistles, you can march down the field on us, but we're going to tighten it inside the red area, and you're not really going to be able to punch it in the end zone. And Tennessee struggled with that. So how much does Nico Iamaleava progress as a player in a system that may even be less quarterback friendly than the Tennessee system, which is, I mean, it should be, you would think, add water instant offense because of all the space that they create with their splits and using the dimensions of the field. So I'm really interested about how Iamaleava fits into UCLA, and that feedback that you're sharing is just so interesting to me when you put it sort of in the context of the last 7, 8, 9 years of UCLA football.
I will not stand for this Dorian Thompson-Robinson disrespect. He was a good football player.
DTR was great. Yeah.
I think just to piggyback off
for whatever it's worth, that staff, obviously you have Deshaun back and some people that have been there, but you do have some new pieces, including on the front office side, like Kari Darlington, the GM, or Stephen Price, the new assistant GM, or even on the coaching side with the Tino Sun-Series of the world that have been around Curtis Rourke or the quarterbacks at Alabama. Like they've seen quarterbacks that not only are capable of playing at a high level in college, but know what it takes to be successful at the next level. And they see that in Nico. I'll just say that. And to reach a point that, first of all, this has been coming up for a while and has continued even recently. But had somebody mention out there that just based on what he's continued to look like, that I'm trying to remember the exact quote so I can go word for word, but it was along the lines of like, Tennessee's going to have some regrets when they see what Nico does this year.
Well, I think it's interesting though, and I think like maybe this could be a segment for us in the future. But I think this time of year, it's like, one of my friends put it this way recently, like it's trust or bust with the information, because you have some coaches that are everything's amazing. We're so optimistic with what you're seeing. And that's some of what I think Nico, and I'm not doubting anything that Matt's getting, and people at Tennessee really like Nico too. They said he was a great kid. And a lot of the issues that happened there were not Nico's fault, even for people that are still there. But then the flip side, I mean, I was talking to a defensive coordinator recently who will have one of the best defenses in the country. And he was like, we look terrible. We're missing this. We're missing that. And talked to somebody else on the staff. He's like, that's just who he is. Like, they look awesome. Like, it's nothing to worry about. So you got to kind of, like, I know it's such an interesting time of year where we see this in NFL a lot too, where it's like, you know, the fifth string running back's going to really surprise people this year. He's awesome. And then it's like, no, he's still the fifth string running back. And so it's just trying to cipher through, is this an optimistic staff? Is this a negative staff? Is this real? Is it not? I think that's the hardest part of this time of year with QB battles, with guys looking good in the preseason. Like, just hard to know until week one. Is like, he still looks like the same guy we saw last year.
You know, in UCLA, the players at Big Ten Media Days, they didn't have a lot of coverage, but every single one of them were like, we're going to make the college football playoff this year. You guys just watch. We're going to do it. They didn't get a lot of coverage because other things were going on at the time, but it's a confident group, very confident group.
I will say this. So look, I pulled up the schedule, and you guys can let me know your thoughts on this. So by no means am I saying that UCLA is going to go out and win the Big Ten or a national title or something like that. I feel the need to preface this by throwing that out there. But listen to this schedule. So open up at home against Utah.
Lost.
Have UNLV, New Mexico, Northwestern, Penn State, which mentioned before, Michigan State, Maryland, Indiana, Nebraska before that game against Ohio State. Like, there's a lot of winnable games in there. A
lot of potential losses in there too.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that there's a lot of games that are winnable unless you are a team that can't win them, right? Like, if you're an average team, then a whole lot of winnable games aren't as winnable.
Real quick though, like, from the Nico standpoint, like, say what you will about how that ended at Tennessee. I've talked to multiple people in college football at UCLA and outside of UCLA that say Nico is worth 2 or 3 wins, at least, compared to what they had last year. Like, he is that significant of an upgrade at QB for them. And with that schedule, like, you're talking, what did UCLA go last year? They went 5-7 or 6-6.
Yeah.
They made a bowl.
I think that
you're talking about a team that can win 8 or 9 games just with a quarterback upgrade.
Yeah, right now as it stands, they have three top 25 teams on their schedule.
Hey, tell me this. I'm going to throw this out to all of you guys. So you have the 2 teams in California, UCLA, USC. I don't have USC schedule in front of me right now, but who are you truly more confident in to win more games this year between UCLA and USC? And I know it may be tough without having the full USC schedule in front of you, but like, I still have big time questions about the USC quarterback situation, to where like, you can at least make a case looking at that schedule for UCLA maybe being able to finish with the better record.
Talent-wise and depth-wise, I say USC's better, but you're exactly right that the schedule is conducive for USC to have a worse season. They have a stretch here, 3 straight games against top 15 opponents in the preseason AP poll, at Illinois, Michigan, at Notre Dame, and then they have to go on the road after that to Nebraska. That is a difficult stretch in the middle of the year for them. USC could be like kind of stumbling down the stretch as they get into November and have to go to Oregon and then, of course, go to the Rose Bowl and play UCLA.